done. Yes, I've started recording.
But you have to ask a question.
Yes. Can you please tell us your names, the course that you're teaching, and the experience?
Okay, my name is Emiro Mushana. I'm in the Department of African Languages and I teach at Nyakitara. And you want my experience?
Yes.
I've been teaching for the last 10 years.
Yes.
And I teach here at the department in Nyakitara, but also teach at the Department of Distance Education, also teach research methods for students who are upgrading from the diploma to the degree.
Yes. As a lecturer, how do students having phones affect you?
And you've already asked me whether the students whom I teach, how does the phone affect their learning? Personally, I do not allow students to use phones when I'm teaching. In my first lecture, I made it very clear. I advise them to put their phones in the silence mode or in vibration or switch them off. I don't entertain them at all. And when I get you using a phone in a class, I give you punishment by getting in front and ask you some questions, tough ones by the way, regarding what I've taught before or what I taught previously. And sometimes I send them away or sometimes I confiscate the phone. So I can say that students' phones do not affect my teaching at all because I'm quite strict. You don't touch the phone. It's only when you have a serious problem that maybe you have to ask for permission to get out and then pick your phone. So normally they don't disturb my teaching. But I've seen when I'm moving around in these other lectures, I've seen where a lecturer is teaching and the students are seriously busy on their phones, they're WhatsApping or Facebook, they're not paying attention. But in my class, you must pay attention. So I can say that really phones have not affected me as such. But I've seen students not concentrating, the lecturer is in front teaching, for them they are behind, either conversing or the attention is on their phones. But I also think that the effect is not necessarily in a class. I think the effect is even outside the class, because after teaching them, when you get out, the next minute again you find them on their phones. You can, for instance, be going to teach, you find students downstairs taking selfies and on their phones. You go and teach and come back and find the same students where you left them an hour ago again on their phones, also taking selfies, taking their pictures, still on the phone. I think even if it might not affect them while I'm teaching in a class, I think most of the time it's affecting them outside my class, because the same students who I don't allow to use phones in the class, when I get out or when I come in, you find them fidgeting, either to hide the phone or to put it in vibration or to put it in silence. As I enter, you see them struggling to put the phones off and put the phones away. But as you get out, it means even if you teach, they want to be attentive for 1 hour or 2 hours you're teaching. Afterwards, they go back to the phones, which means they don't have time for revision, they don't have time for discussions, discussing academic work. So much of the time, they only reserve that time because I'm strict, which is 1 hour, but then they revert back to their phones. And I think the phones must be affecting students so much. It also affects them not only in terms of teaching, but in terms of research. They are no longer using these textbooks to do their research. Whenever you give your coursework, they simply go their phone and download a few things, simply copy and paste. So it's actually affecting the academic work in terms of academic research, because some information that you find on the net is not authentic. They simply go to Google, Wikipedia and pick a few things. Instead of going to the library, instead of reading books, you can use internet for research, but simply use their phones to copy a few things and put in their coursework. So you'll not find students in the library reading. You give them a coursework, but they simply rush their phones to do a bit of research. Yes, you can use internet, but the kind of research they do on the net is not really good research that they are doing.
Yes. So doesn't it affect you as a lecturer positively, like doing communications with them?
Maybe where it's very helpful is this why you use it for academic purposes. Especially in my class, we normally have a group WhatsApp, and strictly I instruct them not to post any other thing that's not academic. For instance, there is one group where I'm doing supervision of internship students. They're doing Bachelor of Education. There are 9 students. I've created a group, and they have started on their internship projects in school, in the College of Education and External Studies. They do projects. Those teachers do projects, and we are having a group WhatsApp. Each person on a weekly basis normally posts the activity they are doing. For instance, there's one who's involved in soap making, liquid soap making. He's teaching commerce. It's relevant to commerce, the subject. He's on teaching geography. He's also doing soap making in terms of industrial production. There's one who is involved in irrigation. He's doing agriculture. Others are doing fine art. That's also involved in craft making. So they normally post whatever they have done. They post on the group WhatsApp. Other students make comments. We make comments. It has now become like another media we are using to exchange ideas. So with WhatsApp and internet and Facebook, etc., if you use them professionally for academic purposes, they can do great job, because each one is learning from the other groups. We are learning as a group, they are learning from each other, what each person is posting, and then they are making comments. And even for the students which I'm teaching here, the regular students, I'm also using it, for instance, to give their courseworks, to make comments on the coursework, to post even some readings. You may find a text, quite a good text, you simply save it, or take its picture and then post it there. So because of being strict on the usage, I found it quite important. It's another tool. Even on Facebook, you can post some readings. Students can go and read. It depends on how you want to use it. But largely, I think it's affecting students' academic work. They are putting a lot of effort on social media. And those funny messages, hi, they are greeting each other, they are WhatsApping, they are taking selfies. If I were a manufacturer, I think maybe I would remove that part of taking selfies, especially on ladies. It takes much of your time. Then one will take a picture, then you're looking up, then looking at this particular side, then a full hour taking selfies and posting. It doesn't help. That's productive time that they will be putting in the academic work, but they are not doing it. Basically, for me, it's not affecting my students. But it's because I'm very strict. I'm very strict, and I mean it. You post things that are not related, then you exit the group, I remove it from the group, and they are aware, they don't post anything that's not related to academic.
Okay, thank you.